everybody! It's Rachel with Snapdoodle Toys, and welcome back to part 2 of our holiday special. If you missed part 1, be sure to go watch that one first. Now here are some gift ideas for people who love puzzles and brain games. First up, we have IQ Stix. Now this game is perfect for people of all ages because the levels range from easy to wizard, which is actually harder than expert. The game comes in a very small box, which makes it really great for traveling too. I've definitely brought this game to the airport and it is awesome. So the way it works is you get a booklet, and the booklet has all the different levels in it. Now each level tells you how to place the sticks in to start the game, and then it's up to you to figure out how to get the rest of the sticks to fit in. So what's pretty crazy about this game is that there's actually only one solution to each level. Next up we have the Genius games. Now I'm not trying to brag, but I rock at these games. So we have Genius Square and Genius Star here, but there's a couple other variations too. So in this game, you start by rolling all of the dice it comes with, and you place pegs on the board that match the dice. So this one says E5, so I'd find E5 and I'd put a peg there. Then you have all of these Tetris-looking pieces, and you have to fit all of the pieces onto the board. Unlike the last game, there are actually several solutions to each board. So you can play this by yourself, or you can play it with another person, in which case you're racing to get all your pieces on the board first. Once you feel like you've mastered the square version, you can try out the star version. So this is the same type of game, except instead of square pieces, they're triangle pieces, which makes it a little bit trickier. And there's an added challenge where you can try and fit 2 specific pieces next to each other to complete the star shape. Next up, we have Grizzly Gears. Now this game is great because you can play it doing anything. You could be sitting on the couch, you could be sitting in bed. My mom actually got this game for me earlier this year when I was sick, and it was great because it was a way to keep my brain active and to pass the time. Like IQ Stix, this game comes with the booklet that tells you how to set up each level. Each level, you'll be placing the trees and sometimes the characters in different places on the board. And then to play the game, you're going to twist the trees to move the characters to their designated spot on the board. So the little baby bear needs to get back to its mama bear. The person needs to get to the tent. The little rabbit needs to get to the big rabbit, and so on. But be careful, don't put anything in front of the mama bear that's not her cub. You know what would happen. One tricky thing about this game is that depending on how you turn your tree pieces, you might actually lock in other pieces. So you really got to think a couple steps ahead. The last smart game I'm going to talk about is Horse Academy. So this game is very similar to Grizzly Gears and IQ Stix. You get a booklet that tells you how to set up each level, and you need to get your horse over all the obstacles and on the path to the end. I highly recommend these games for anybody who loves to challenge their brain and think outside the box. Next up, I'm going to talk about some relatively simple card games, specifically 5 Crowns, Quiddler, and Set. First up, 5 Crowns. Now this is actually one of my all-time favorite games. This game is played over several rounds where you're trying to be the first player to go out. Now, to go out, you need to have the right combinations of cards, either matching values or runs. One interesting aspect of this game is that each round you increase the number of cards in your hand. The first round you start with 3 cards, then 4, then 5, and you go all the way up until you have 13 cards in your hand. On top of that, the number of cards in your hand also represents the card that is wild that round. So in the first round, 3s are wild, and when you get to the last round, kings are wild. Very similar to this game is Quiddler. It's played over multiple rounds, and again, you're trying to be the first person to go out. But, unlike 5 Crowns, instead of numbered cards, you have cards with letters on them. You probably guessed it, instead of getting runs and matching values, you're trying to spell words. The last one I'm going to talk about is Set. Now this game is a little bit more fast-paced than the other two because you're racing against the other players to try to be the first one to shout Set. Each round, 12 cards are laid out, and you're trying to be the first to find 3 cards that make up a set. Now, a set consists of 3 cards where each individual feature is either all the same or all different. Now, the cards can either match in shading, color, number of objects, or type of objects. Another awesome thing about these games is that they're so small, they don't take up a lot of space, and so they're great for travel. And you can also play as many rounds as you want or as few rounds as you want too. I don't think my family goes anywhere without our 5 Crowns game. In fact, our cards are so worn and the box is falling apart that I might just pick up a new copy for my family for the holidays. I hope you enjoyed our holiday special. I know we did. Be sure to like and subscribe. Happy holidays!